Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to the Triscast. I'm your host, Tristan Dario, and I invite you to sit back, relax, catch a vibe, and enjoy the show. Hey y'all, take a moment before you get settled. Follow the Triscast and leave a rating. Alright, I'll see you in today's episode. Peace. Hello, beautiful people. Oh my God, my volume. Don't want to sound like... Bro, I was just sitting here prepping, having some broccoli. Before we get into that, hello, my beautiful people, and welcome back to the Triscast. I'm your host, Tristan Dario, and today, I don't fucking know, but I just had some broccoli, and I'm happy about that. Grateful for it, actually. If you at all see my feet during this episode, sorry, the dogs are out. I don't feel like wearing socks. I'm in my boho fucking mood. Because I like to touch grass without socks on. And I don't like, dude, because you gotta fucking touch grass. That word might come up a lot today because, damn it, man. Shit's been... Remember how last week I told you about how we're supposed to feel our fucking emotions? Well, motherfucker, I'm feeling it. I am feeling it. And I am allowed to. Because you be trying so hard just to realize that you got to take a fucking step back. Okay? That's all I got to say. Damn. This one, I'm cursing a lot. So, screw it. I don't care. It's fine. No, dude. I was pissed off. I'm still kind of pissed off because you got to feel it when you're pissed off and you just got to let it out. But I'm here. I'm alive. I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful to be experiencing this because if I didn't, I would not recognize what I do not like or appreciate. And yeah, it's a good thing I'm feeling it. And I didn't get any more water. Kind of bummed out about that. I got a little bit left. So hopefully I don't get damn near thirsty enough to get the hell up for it. But hey. Guys, put yourself first. Always. And put those you love second. And just make sure that you don't let them go. And you don't neglect them. Just make sure that they always know that you love them, and tell them what you love about them. Tell them what you appreciate about them. Because, dude, at the end of the day, you got yourself and you got the people who love you and choose you on a daily basis. And that shit is important. Because you're going to be running into individuals that talk you into shit, and you're going to be questioning yourself, or you're going to be... you may not even question yourself. You may be so solid in yourself that you recognize that, motherfucker, I'm a good dude, or I'm a good woman, whatever the fuck, non-binary. I don't fucking know, but... I watched A Quiet Place Part 2. This is going to be very chaotic. Just deal with it for me, please. But... I just don't want to, So I want to talk about something I enjoy. I watched A Quiet Place Part 2 because I have been seeing that A Quiet Place Day 1 is coming out in the near future. So I wanted to catch up before this movie comes out. And Part 2 was pretty good. I liked it. The ending kind of, I was like, why is it leaving the movie like this? It was kind of like cliffhanger-ish because of where the characters were. But at the end of the day, John Krasinski's probably got a good idea going. He probably knows what the fuck he's doing. But great movie. I loved seeing Cillian Murphy in it because I wasn't even expecting him to be in it. And just watching Oppenheimer with Emily Blunt as well, I'm just like, this is crazy. This is pretty dope. And then it also really wants me to get back into The Dark Knight and then The Dark Knight Rises because Cillian Murphy is the Riddler. And he only has a small fucking part, but I'm a huge fan of Cillian Murphy. Peaky Blinders, I got into that not too long ago when I got back to Missouri when I returned, and Peaky Blinders is so good. Him as Thomas, I forget his last name in the TV show, but hey, I'm sure people out there know. And I'm really, whenever I get into stressful situations or whenever I get into a place where I'm like really upset, pissed off, and I felt what I needed to feel, I like to jump into things that I haven't done before or watch things I haven't done before. So I wanted to watch that because I've just been feeling things coming on. And it's been happening for a little bit, for a few weeks. And prepping to move and getting back into this state of mind where things are about to change and we're going to get back into what would be considered in other people's minds reality. Because I've been having a great opportunity here. I've been having, a lot of growth here, and it has definitely led me into the direction that I wanted to go. Now, did most of this not really have direction? Yeah. There was a very long time while I've been here on my, I guess, almost my year, I would say. Yeah, it's coming up on a year, I think. Because I started in January last year. Yeah, so about a year and a half. But a lot of growth has happened. Not to name a few things, not as much caring about what people think, giving more time to myself, being gentle on myself, self-care, introspection, figuring out my purpose. The list can go on for me because I'm in my head a lot, but I've also learned a lot about relationships and how to keep them stable, how to make things work when you are distant from your friends and your family, especially the close ones. And it's not always easy. And I might turn this up just a little bit. Yeah. Okay, that's a little bit but better. But making it work. And sometimes you start things and you get into things that you don't as much know a lot about, and then you learn. You learn what you put up with. You learn what you're going to be okay with. And that's good. It's scary as fuck to take risks. It's scary as hell to even trust people. And sometimes I think I trust people way too fucking fast. And I'm working on that. That's the next one. That's the next fucking lesson I'm gaining. Because you can, I believe I've talked about it before. When you create ideas of situations, people, things, you're only setting something up for you to be disappointed, to be let down. And we shouldn't do that to ourselves. We should be open-minded. We should take things as they are rather than what we feel and what we think of them to be, because when we create these ideas or these thoughts or whatever the fuck we think it's going to be, because we don't know. We don't actually know. We're just creating this idea. And that is the disappointment. It's not about what happens. It's about the fact that you might be creating something that's not even real. And we shouldn't do that. We shouldn't fucking do that. We shouldn't. And it's not that we shouldn't, actually. It's more like we should recognize that if we do that, we're going to be taught a lesson. And it's not in a bad way. It's not black and white. It's not positive, negative. It is a part of our journey for a reason. It's going to be a part of our growth of becoming who we're meant to be. And I appreciate that. I really do. I appreciate all the lessons that I've gained, and I'm thankful that I get to learn the way that I've gotten to learn. I'm not scared to get out there and try again. I'm going to continue to push forward and try and believe and have faith, because just because things happen doesn't mean that we need to give up. And the second we give up, that's the second we decide that it's never going to happen. And I believe that we shouldn't give up. And I say that all the time. But when I'm pissed off, sometimes I just say I don't want to fucking do it anymore. But I think that's being human. Some people figure it out way earlier, but it's at the same time like we can't always have the answers, and we're not always right. I think sometimes I can get into this place where I think I'm always right when I'm not. And I should recognize that, and I think I have. But when I am right and something's forced onto me, I get pissed. I'm sure I share that with a lot of people, because I don't think a lot of people like being forced into things at all. It's quite disrespectful. But it's important for us to experience these things, because if we don't, we're not going to know what we like and what we dislike. And if things are just this easy or no challenges, or if there's something that happens that shows us what it is that we like or what we don't like, bro, we are in for it. Because nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to happen. And we're going to get bored. And we're going to resent things. Because we're going to maybe not even resent things. We're just not going to grow. We're just not going to change. And it's just going to be the same shit all the time. And I don't believe life is meant for that. I don't believe we're supposed to stay the same. That's what the whole point of living is. If you stay hunkered into this way of thinking all the time, the world is going to grow past you, and you're going to be left behind. That's why we're meant to adapt. We are beings of adaptation. Some of us like to bury our fucking heads into the ground because we're afraid. Like, there is nothing braver than continuing to push forward towards something that you care about, something that you truly desire. There's an actual Martin Luther King quote that I'm not going to be able to say right now, but it has been said multiple times as of recently when I've been doing my streams. And it really sticks to me, because along the lines it says something about if a man isn't worth dying for something, and I forget the rest of it. But that's pretty intense for something I'm talking about right now. But yeah, it's still valid, still aligns. We're grateful, thankful, and blessed. That's a sign that I'm looking at right now, and I think that's a reminder to me, because it's really having an effect on me right now. I'm just got to be grateful, I'm thankful, and I'm blessed beyond compare. But yes, don't put up with shit that you know doesn't feel right just because you're trying to keep the peace. Don't do it. Just let it go. It's hard, but let it go. I'm telling you. Sometimes I don't even know when to stop. And that can be maybe a toxic trait sometimes. I don't know. Sometimes I just don't know when to stop. And then when someone has to look me in the eye and say, bro, just drop it, because it's only adding fuel to the fire. And I'm like, that makes sense. I should stop. But on a good note, this is a chaotic transition. I got a new little thing. It's called the Camp Snap camera. Supposedly it's just this camera that's been popping up on social media feeds for me, and it can take up to like 1,000 photos pretty much, and it comes with an SD slot. Oh, dogs are showing. It comes with an SD card already, or memory card, I mean. And yeah, you get to take up to 1,000 photos. It gives you that vintage disposable look, and I like it. And I want to use it for the time being. I have an Instagram account for photography. I don't have anything fucking fancy. I have a Polaroid camera that I've posted a lot of my Polaroids on. And then I wanted something new. Something that, quick, easy. What I like about this thing is it connects right up to my computer, automatically shows up on my computer desktop. I get to go in and I get access to all the photos. And if I go into my Photos app on the Mac, I can import all the photos easily. So I'm like, yeah, that's pretty fucking cool. But yeah, I'm gonna I have 5 photos I haven't taken off just yet. So I'm going to take a picture. Boom. Just like that. And I guarantee my fingers were probably in the lens because for some reason, if you do it like this, it'll see your fingers. So I got to somehow, it would still see it there. Unless do it like this. And take another one. Hell yeah. Now we're at 7 photos. And then you just hold the button. And it's off. I like it. It's pretty compact, quick, easy. Gives that disposable look. And I like that. I would go and get a real disposable camera, but I got to focus on some other things right now. And a real disposable camera or a DSLR will come in the future, especially for the podcast, because in the near future, when I'm able to get my hands on a DSLR, I'm going to give us a new angle, I think, and hopefully by that time, I have somebody who I can continue doing podcast episodes with, because I talked about it recently, how I would like to bring someone in on this. But yeah, I'm happy about the camera. It's something I was looking forward to. I got it around Mother's Day. I bought it, and then it just came into the mail a few days ago. But yeah. Things are really up in the air right now, and I'm trying to keep a leveled head. One of my closest friends is really good at doing that, but they're in Hawaii. 5 hours behind, and they're going to be a few more when I get back to the East Coast, because East Coast is an hour ahead of me right now, so it's about 6 hour difference. Yeah. I would really like to move back to California eventually, or be on the Pacific Northwest. I've been really thinking about this for a long time. I've been really thinking about Oregon. I have made a goal for me. I got some inspiration from a good friend of mine. Work for about a year, save up all my money, and then go to where it is I want to go next. If I do that, I might have the potential to, even if I don't go to the Pacific Northwest, maybe I could go somewhere else. Maybe do some college overseas, abroad. Because in 2025, there might be a chance that shit might go to shit. So, do I know that for sure? Absolutely not. No. But if abroad isn't possible, I think I would pick up and I'd go over to Oregon. I like the West Coast. I like being around nature. I am a huge fan of having mountain trails and having the beach. And I don't know much about the weather. I've heard from some people that it's more tropical. I've heard from some people it's different. But I also hear mostly that Oregon and Washington State tend to be very nice year round. And their average weather is pretty nice. So I like that. I like the sound of that because I like warmer weather. I don't like frigid cold. Like here in Missouri when it's in the wintertime, dude, it is just not, it's brown, it's dead. And some people find that so beautiful, and it is beautiful in its own way, but green is like the biggest inspiration for me. Like whenever I see, like right now, man, we are surrounded by gorgeous, I don't even know, you can probably see behind me. I just love how green it is, especially in Oregon. The waterfalls, the hiking trails, the beer, the communities. Very creative out there. Oregon's not too far away from California, like Los Angeles. It's probably like at most, maybe 2.5 hour flight at most, maybe 2 hours, maybe an hour and 45. But also, Oregon compared to San Francisco. I haven't been to San Francisco yet, and that would be fucking incredible. Because, when I do certain things, when I make plans, I like to be flexible. But, with my next plan and where I'm moving, there's a lot of things that are in the reasoning or the bullet points as to why I'm making this move back to the East Coast because of a recent car accident, not having a car, having to get a new car, having to get set up somewhere where, it is a little bit more secure. But I have very much thought about selling all my shit and just starting new somewhere, which I'm not against, but I gotta go wherever I feel led to go. And I can't not get stuck in this idea that I'm going against my dreams, because I'm not. I'm 26 years old. I still have plenty of time. I have time to get out there and experience and gain more experiences that are going to help me become the man I am meant to become. So I see it more in that view or that perception, because I was really, really like before my car accident, my idea was to move out to California. I would live out of my car at the time, and I'd work until I could get a place and get on my feet. And there was a few places I already had set up, and I was really looking forward to it. But I understand that it wasn't a part of my journey just yet. I'm not throwing it out completely, but I am only 26, and I have plenty of time to make my dreams come true and to continue working towards them. I am very proud of myself. I'm proud of myself for not letting go of my dreams. I recognize that I'm going to have to get more money up, and I have to do it the right way. So if I can get settled somewhere for a year, save up all the money I possibly can to prepare for my future, I think I'll be okay. Obviously, I'll put time and effort into the podcast. I'm thinking about going back to school. I was going to go back for psychology, but then I found something that really inspired me. It's not about doing it for the money. So don't do something for the money. Do something that's really going to make you happy. So for me, I'm thinking about going back to school for art, something to do with art, because I'm creative. I like being in museums. I like being surrounded by other artists, creatives. So I want to be somewhere in that vicinity. And it may not be the easiest, but I would rather try. Psychology is important to me. It's really cool. I enjoy it. But the more that I am figuring out myself, I'm still figuring it out, but I like the idea of like art history or anything that has to do with fine art, anything that puts me inside of a museum, possibly creative directing, or even better, being able to, art deal and direct exhibits on creatives that are being shown in museums. Like I really like that. I have so many incredible friends who are artists, and I have always see myself being able to work with other artists and other people because I love collaborating with people. And that is something I've been praying so much for, especially for the near future. When I get settled, I really want to start networking more and getting in touch with other creatives. Doesn't matter if it's music, if it's with the podcast, if they're artists like painters or writers, poets, whatever it is that the person does, I want to be able to collaborate with them on it, and I want to be able to build that network up. If there's a chance that I can get anyone into a museum to show their work, I would love to do that. There's a person I follow on Instagram, Ethan Uncurated, makes incredible videos, and he was just in he lives in New York supposedly, and he just showed his first set of photography pictures in a museum. And I'm like, dude, that's fucking awesome. Motherfucker's doing good things, great things, and he's inspiring people. I like that. And I want to be more around people like that. I want to be around people who are pushing the narrative for creating despite it being bad. Even if it's shit work and you don't like it, you're making something and you're putting it out there for people to see. There's going to be people out there that like it, and I believe that. It's just like even if people don't like this, I do it for me, and I like the work I'm doing. And sometimes I still cringe at myself. I cringe at myself a lot, and I think as a creator, you have to be able to put up with cringing at yourself. I remember when I first started the podcast, I could barely listen to my voice because I was just like, oh, what the hell is this? Because I'd stumble, or I didn't like how I sounded, or I thought I wasn't actually talking about anything, or I didn't know what I was talking about. So I was getting insecure about it. But the more, especially as of lately, the more I just sit down and I say, listen, bro, there's so many more fucking people out there that probably do the same thing as me, film an entire episode, they put all their time into this episode, and when they're listening back to it, they're like, what the fuck is this? But I like it, and I'm getting used to it more and more. I appreciate how much I keep trying, because dude, when it is something that you really care about and that you're really working on, it goes from a job or something that you have to do to something that makes you feel more comfortable. Like, I have to say it, and sometimes before I even sit down and film an episode, or when I sit down and talk, I'm like, bro, I don't know if I'm prepared for this. And you're not always prepared. And sometimes you gotta be cringy. You gotta be cringy. You gotta recognize if you feel like you're not putting in work that you like, you have to decide right then and there, are you going to do more that you like? And I think that's where I've gotten. And even if I didn't think I fully prepared for this, or if I feel like I have a lot of stuff on my mind, because I do have a lot of stuff on my mind. And as a person with ADHD who tries to effectively and efficiently get through all the thoughts in my mind and stop going a million miles per hour like there's a bullet train happening in my head, I try to, in a healthy way, get the thoughts out that aren't meant to be there, or, just jot down whatever I can, so whatever sticks, and then I can move on from the rest. Because it's very easy to not want to listen to your thoughts and drown it out by numbing your brain with dopamine. So, like social media or watching a movie. Sometimes I need to watch a movie because it's like so much is happening up there. But I'm getting better, especially when I sit here and do this. It's like I have a list of things that I can talk about, or I can get prepared for what it is I want to talk about. But because I still have ADHD, I'm going to go a little bit deeper onto a few other things, or I'm going to go deeper on certain subjects that my brain obviously cares about at the moment. Out of water. And I remember when I originally started the podcast over on that side of the room, every single time I do the podcast and I drink water, I get all nasally. And I'm like, why am I getting nasally, bro? Like there's something just, come on, dude. But, no, but yeah, going back to school, figuring out what it is I want to do, getting myself ready for the future. You know, it's stressful. And then when you got other things adding on top, it's like, what the fuck is happening? And, you know, that's why I going into it the way I did. It's like, I got things going on and I'm trying to work through it. And sometimes it's difficult, but other times it's like, bro, I've gotten through shit so much worse, you know? So why stress about it? I think I'm becoming more and more laid back, which I like, because I don't want to put up with shit that I don't deserve. Also, I just want to live my life. I want to go dive into a fucking prairie and tall grass and wildflowers and look up at the sun and be. It's different. So different. Because the bustle of things that I used to be used to, like that's something I'm thinking about. I'm going back to the East Coast, going back to Florida, and I've been out of the city for a year and a half. I mean, the last time I was in the city was last June until August. So I only had about a month and a half. And dude, I'm thinking about it and I'm just like, I'm not stressing or getting anxiety about it, but I know it's going to be something I have to get used to again. I'm going to have to get used to the heat again. Like it's been 80, 84, 85 on the hottest of days so far here. And there's people in Florida that tell me, dude, it's 95. I'm like, what the fuck? Dude, I'm sweating bullets here right now. What the fuck is going to happen when I get there? Dude, and I'm even thinking about this. It's like, I think I was my skinniest in Florida. Besides, like, if I'm going through something and I'm not eating as much as I usually do. But, no, when I'm in Florida, I drink a lot of water. I walk around a lot. I go and do things. And I just notice that I'm out and doing more and walking more, that I'll probably be in more shape, in better shape than I might be in right now. But at the same time, I'm in pretty good shape. And I like it. But I've been dealing with some chest pain, bro. Chest pain started yesterday. I don't know what the hell it's from. And it's kind of weird. Because I'm like, what the fuck is this coming from? But we're going to figure it out soon. It's going to be fine. But this is what I mean. It's like, this is shit that's like piling in while I'm trying to focus on my future and trying to focus on what's happening in the next couple months. But we're going to have it all figured out. God's got it covered. God's got us covered. I'm not scared. I'm not worried. I think it's all going to work out for the best. And I think having a good perspective, or, you know, keeping the mind right, been meditating before bed. That's really helping. Sometimes I'll do it before bed. Sometimes I'll wake up in the morning. Depends on how I feel. But if I want to meditate before bed, I know that it puts me right to sleep. But then I fall asleep with the fucking headphones on. And now I'm waking up at 3 in the morning like, bro, I can't go back to sleep. I don't know if people deal with that shit too. I'm sure a lot of people don't fall asleep with headphones on. But when I'm fucking tired and I'm beat, yeah. And that's another thing I noticed is like, I do a good amount of work, but at the same time, there's days where I feel like I'm not doing a lot. So why am I so tired at the end of the day? But that's just how it is. You just gotta feel it. There's a song that I listen to. It's a lo-fi song, and it's a really nice melody. It's an old singer. It's really popping in my head right now. And one of the main things is it's like making music. You never use the same beat twice. You just got to feel it. And that's crazy. So it just popped in my head. I feel like I just got to feel it, and I just got to go with it. And wherever I feel guided, go. I definitely make a lot of decisions based on emotions. Maybe not always logically. I think that's been something that's been pointed out to me a lot in my life. It's, Tristan, you have to be more logical. But I'm more emotional and analytical because I analyze things and I see with my eyes, I observe, I analyze it, and then I act on that. And mostly I act on that analyzation and then how it makes me feel. Depending on how it makes me feel, I decide how it is I'm going to go about it. And whenever I feel that I am being taken advantage of, or whenever I feel like I am not being respected and it's one person over my own, I really do. I notice when I need to be held accountable, and I take that. I'll take that. Maybe in the moment I might be really pissed off, but I'll take it. But, I'll take it. But it's like when I notice that I'm not in the wrong, and this goes back earlier when I'm saying like I'm not always in the right, but when I'm in the wrong, I recognize that I need to change, I need to grow, and there's changes that need to be made. But when I am in the right and it's constantly me being told, you're not in the right, you're the one in the wrong, it's you. I'm like, I understand how another person's point of view might, I understand another person's point of view is, and their point of view of me is their experience. But without true understanding, I don't know how I can possibly take it, because most of the time I believe I'm being myself. Most of the time I'm just being a person and I'm just going through things about how I have coped, right? This is how I coped with it. This is how I decided to do it. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I probably, do have some things still, obviously, because I'm still healing. There's things I'm working on, but I know that I'm not a work in progress all the time. I'm not something that needs to be fixed all the time. I'm something that really, I'm someone who recognizes where I need change, especially if it's pointed out to me, and I put time into that, especially if I recognize that someone's right about something that I'm doing. Yeah, I understand. But if it doesn't make sense to me and I feel attacked, I'm going to challenge it, because I don't like being nitpicked, especially as a person who's growing in themselves. I don't like having shit just poked out at me just because someone says. I don't recognize that as truth. I recognize that as a feeling, and that is something I do. I do it too, and I think that is a good thing that I experienced some things, so that instead of how I take things and thinking that that's what's actually happening, I have to recognize that's just a feeling. I have to recognize that, even though this is how this situation's coming out at me, I can't take it by how I feel. I have to see it for what it is. I have to understand. But I think when I get shown the behavior that I give sometimes, that's when I'm like, okay, then if this is being shown to me, I got to make these changes. I'm not saying I'm a bad person. I don't think I'm a bad person. I try my best, but, I slip up because I'm human and I'm going to slip up. But I don't like having things held onto me, or I really don't like being put into a box. So, and lately, there was a few times where I feel like I was put into a box, and there's nothing more frustrating, than trying your hardest and then still being placed in a box. As if everything that I've done or all my effort has not been seen. So it really annoys me, and it makes me feel invalidated. And I'm not saying that I do the best job, but dude, I definitely try. I'm not a perfectionist anymore. I'm not a people pleaser anymore. So when I recognize that someone wants me to respond in the way that they want me to respond, sorry, not sorry, because if I recognize this as bullshit, I'm going to challenge it. And that's just me. And it might be a lot of other people who don't want to just take shit because people are dishing it. Got a little bit of extra, but I'm not going to be able to get any more unless I twist the top off. But no, dude, I'm just grateful that I get to experience these things and I get to learn these things, because I recognize things from my own past, and I've been working on myself in the way that whenever something I perceive as what I've experienced in the past and I don't want it to repeat, I see that sometimes as my trauma coming out and me running away because I'm afraid of being treated the way as I was being treated before. But then when I recognize that it's actually happening, not gaslighting myself, that's when I recognize that, nope, you got to stand up. I ain't going to take this shit. Bullshit. Nope. And I think that is an important thing to state. And I think that's something we all have to do. And I'm glad that it's happening now rather than later. Rather that I'm getting it now. Because what if it wasn't seen at all? The rose-colored glasses, we see only what we want to see. And then later down the line, it gets worse. And then we put up with it for too long, and then it's like, I can't. But, dude, I just saw another great example of how relationships work. And that changed my entire mind on how it worked. There's this whole, it was on this thing about steps of a relationship. It starts with interest in one another, dating, long-term dating, moving in, engagement, and then marriage. But in therapy, you figure out, everyone believes once you're interested in someone, you gotta do the whole thing. You're no matter what. And maybe I'm like the person who made this video, and I just didn't recognize it. But, dude, you sign up for what you sign up for. And if you choose not to go forward, you don't have to. So if you're interested in someone, you can stay interested in someone. You can be in that talking stage. And then if you want to take it further and you want to go in dating, you're signing up for dating. But if you don't want to go long term, you are in every way, shape, and form, you have every right to dip. You don't have to have an explanation. I believe that we as a society have these conditionings or we are conditioned to believing that if we get into something that we have to work it out no matter what. And if we don't work it out, we're giving up. But sometimes things are not worth taking farther. So if we just put up with it and put up with it and put up with it, I think there are people obviously who are like, I'm not going to put up with shit that I don't deserve. It's like keeping your peace. Dog, honestly, I would rather keep my peace than put myself at stake of losing it. Hell no. Hell no. I want my nervous system to remain regulated. I don't want nobody coming in and fucking with it. That's why I love having my friends. I'm okay with being an independent person. I don't need anything. I have the people I need. I keep the people I need close. And that's fucking valid. Anyone who disagrees, drop it in the comments. I'd love to have this conversation. Because we sign up for things that we sign up for. And at any time, we have every right to change. Or not change, but we have every right to just decide that we're done. And I think for some people that hurts. Because some people have different ideas about how they want to go through it and how they want to go about it. But I think because we are getting to this sense of consciousness when it comes to connecting with people, getting to know people, and experiencing as much as we can with other people, I think that's when it's like, oh, all this stress and anxiety or all this, like, if you are meant to be with someone, you're not going to have that stress or anxiety about staying with them. It's just going to happen. It's going to feel right. And look at me talking about fucking relationships. Bro. But I give props to everyone out there that work through their problems, especially with their significant other, and make it work. And even if it's hard sometimes, or if they have this overwhelming sense that they are with the person they're meant to be with, I'm so happy for them because it's inspiring. And I think that it adds to the belief that we all have somebody out there for us. And I think that's special. They got to meet each other before other people got to meet theirs. And that's something that you don't take for granted at all. And through our journeys, we might do that. I think that's why it's important for us to recognize what we have and not neglect it and not take advantage of it and take care of it. Help it grow. Nourish it. It's like watering a plant. I used that analogy before, but I like it. But yeah, it's like take care of yourself. Make sure that you're putting yourself first. Do not give up your morals, ethics. Be compassionate. Be open. Be open. Because despite what we have experienced, despite what's happened in life, I just posted something incredible on my Instagram story by Duncan Trussell on a podcast. You could have dog shit on the bottom of your shoe. And if you go outside and you allow this belief that there's dog shit everywhere, you're going to be stuck in what feels like hell. But when you finally notice that it's just dog shit on the bottom of your shoe, then you realize, oh, it's not shitty everywhere. It's just shit on my shoe. I'm doing all right. There's not bad shit all around me. It's a flick of your perception, bro. Everything is possible. Everything has the ability to change right before your eyes. Everything has the ability to be worked out for you if you release control and release the idea that you know what's best for your life. Because the only person who knows is God. And I believe that is the truth. That's my truth. It's what I believe in. It's my faith. So, but hey, what do I know? Hey guys, really appreciate you chilling with me, talking, well, listening. I hope whatever you're going through is going to change for the better if you're not feeling too good. And I truly believe it will. I know that not everybody can take positive words all the time, and I know that that's not how their brain may work, but I just ask that we try to recognize that everything has the potential to be better as long as we just keep having faith that it can. And I think it will change. And if we continue to create things that we love and that we believe in, and if we keep on spreading compassion and love and be gentle to one another, I think it can bring a lot of great things. So, I love you guys. With that, I would like to say I hope you have a wonderful morning, a wonderful afternoon, a wonderful evening, and a wonderful night. Peace.